Warning: this video contains the usage of highly sensitive words such as the J word and the E word. Viewer discretion is advised. We are halfway into 2025, and an internet trend that has been prevalent throughout this year with no foreseeable stop is unemployment. And if this is your first time hearing about this, allow me to clue you in. All over social media these days, you will find images and videos and memes that glorify unemployment and or encourage unemployment. By extension, some of these posts also encourage being an overall disgusting loser, and on the flip side, there are posts about being employed but dreading it and wanting to get out. There are some posts that express a desire to find a job but having no luck due to the dumpster fire of a job market right now. And on the other hand, there are posts that express a desire to never find a job. You get the point. The central theme here is unemployment, whether it be in practice or in spirit. This brings us to the million-dollar question. Why? Why is unemployment a meme? More specifically, why now is unemployment a meme? Why wasn't this a thing, say, back in 2018? Why now? As mentioned earlier, the job market is currently a dumpster fire. It has been on crack ever since COVID. Gone are the days of nobody wants to work anymore. Now every job has 100+ applicants, and if you're not well connected or a top 0.1% achiever, the odds of scoring a job are heavily stacked against you. It also doesn't help that since COVID, the government has ramped up mass migration at an unprecedented rate. The situation can be summarized as this: there are way too many people right now and not enough jobs, which means many people are left without jobs. This creates an economy where power is greatly tipped in the favor of employers, which allows them to be highly selective over who gets hired, which is why application and interview processes are more bureaucratic than ever. It's not just, oh, apply for a job. You gotta apply online, make an account, go for a phone interview, and then 2 more interviews, and do an assessment, and do this and that, only to get turned down and ghosted. To make matters worse is the unfortunate timing of this situation. We are at that time again where a whole generation of people have recently graduated or will be soon graduating in the near future and now have to face the horrendous job market. Unlike previous generations, this generation happens to be a generation that is deeply online. They were raised in the era of social media and have little to no memory of life before smartphones. So consequently, all the struggling, the coping, the grievances, and so on that is felt by this generation of graduates will be expressed via the internet. So to answer the question from earlier, why now is unemployment a meme? Because a generation of people are graduating into an undesirable job market, and they are airing out their grievances in the way they know best, by posting about it on the internet. However, there's another side to this story. Remember, the title of this video is not "Why is Gen Z unemployed?" The title is "Why is Gen Z glorifying unemployment?" The memes that come from the perspective of being unemployed but wanting a job but being unable to find one or struggling to find one comprises only a portion of this trend. But what about the memes that straight up glorify unemployment? And I get it, a lot of these memes are ironic, as memes usually are. A lot of the people glorifying unemployment are likely doing it jokingly. However, I'd say they still express a deep human desire, and in this case, it's a deep desire to not work. Many people won't openly admit this because it's not a respectable thing to do, but deep down, you know you don't want to work. And because openly admitting this is frowned upon, you gotta express this desire with some irony. You have to condemn employment in a silly, exaggerated way to ensure there's some deniability about the seriousness of your claim. But deep down, we all agree with this to some extent, because there is arguably some validity to it. These memes express a desire to want more out of life than just working and providing shareholder value. People want to be free to focus on personal interests such as hobbies or raising a family or just plain chilling out because the kingdom of heaven is now. What good is all this value, and I mean that in quotation marks, if it doesn't translate into improved quality of life? And this disdain for work is timeless. It is a message that transcends generations. At any era, you will find works of fiction about the desire to tap out of the rat race due to the absurdity of it all. These memes we've been seeing about unemployment may just be the most recent manifestation of this message. Now, of course, even if you don't want to work, you still have to work in some capacity. Work is an important and inescapable aspect of life, and no matter how prosperous society gets, there will always be work to do. But the question we have to ask is, what kind of work? Because not all work is equal. There's work that is fundamental to maintaining society and our current standard of living, but then there's work that is also unnecessary and performative. When you consider how many jobs are fake, it's no wonder why for many people, the idea of having to go to work sounds very absurd. It feels like a waste of human potential to compel people to work to no productive end. All this talk about necessary and unnecessary work then leads us to the question of, how much work do we really need? How much do we really collectively need to do to maintain and preferably gradually improve our current standard of living? And how much of the remaining work is just fluff? What should we do about unnecessary work? Should we consider cutting back on unnecessary work and passing the time savings on to people? Even if we did reduce working hours, what do we do with all the idle hands? You could lower the cost of living in accordance with the fact that less people are working. You could try buying them out, as some people are proposing, or you could kill off all the idle people either openly by encouraging assisted suicide, or you could kill them off subtly by allowing them to fall into poverty and leaving them out to dry. Now listen, I don't have all the answers as to what to do about the unemployment problem. That is above my pay grade. But I do want to ask some key questions. And if this is your first time hearing such questions, I encourage you to take the time to think about them yourself. Have a discussion about it. And if you're unemployed and living at home, I encourage you to make the most of your time if you can. You don't have to spend all day gaming and gooning. And sure, you can still game a bit, just not 12 hours a day. And sure, you can still goon a bit, just not 12 hours a... Wait, where am I going with this? What am I saying? Okay. What I'm trying to say is you can be tastefully unemployed. Unemployment is an art. You can make tasteful aesthetic choices as to how you spend all this excess free time you have. Go for a walk outside, reconnect with nature, read a book, or better yet, write a book, play an instrument, learn a new language, start that YouTube channel you've always wanted to start. And if you want to game, try live streaming yourself playing games. Maybe you could build up a following. If there's one good thing I can say about living in the age of the internet is that the resources to learn things yourself has never been more abundant. But real talk though, if you are currently unemployed and you see yourself in a lot of these posts about being unemployed, I wish you the best. I really do. It's hard out there and I don't wish this dread on anyone. Now, let's close off this video with the Pledge of Allegiance. I am unemployed and that's good. I will never be employed and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than neat. Take care, everyone.